it's okay to have one guy that's a little bit different than everybody else.
Okay, now tell the truth. Who were you thinking about when Rick Pitino said, "What are you doing?" He's
A little different.
security, come get the big guy off the set. Welcome back to Red and Blue. While I straighten around Howie, let's roll the animation for our Game Time storylines. The Barney Fife section of the show brought to you by Terrence Jones and Stacy Poole. Those two guys got in trouble on early Friday morning. But the good news was they were involved in a DUI accident. Neither one of those two guys were drinking. The problem was both of them were out way too late on game night.
I take full responsibility for being out late. That really let down my team by making us have curfew, and I did my best really to try to make that not happen. But when it comes to me drinking and all that other stuff, none of that's true. And they got cameras or pictures or whoever says they seen it, really, if they got it, then I want to see it, because I know for a fact I wouldn't do that.
He made a mistake. I don't throw kids under the bus. I don't, this one became public, so I responded in a public way on the website. That's all. It's all. And the rest of it, anything I do with any of these kids in any situation is always in-house, and you all don't know when I punish kids. You won't know.
Breaking news here, 20-year-old college student does something really stupid. That's what we have here. He was out supporting, he's got a friend, there was a video during the summer that they made, a music video, was out, said he's going out to see this friend singing, trying to support him, and was out way too late. They had a game the next day, the big dummy. The day you're on the cover of Sports Illustrated, you get into that kind of incident. It was embarrassing, and you could tell he opened really slowly in this game because you feel like 25,000 people are staring at you, wondering what the heck you were up to. And he finally figured it out, and he's paid his dues, and like Cal said, we don't know what they did to him in practice, but I bet he ran a lot, and he probably will continue to run a lot.
Well, one thing that Louisville can't handle is success, apparently, on the football field. Just a flat effort after going on the road and winning at West Virginia. Same thing happened after they went on the road and they played at Kentucky. Louisville just came out and played awful against Pittsburgh. They just can't handle winning.
Today is a great example today of no focus, a great example today of poor execution, a great example today of preparation. And you look at this football team, we're nowhere near where we should be. And for some reason, we sometimes think we have all the answers. We go win 3 games, and then we come out here today and don't play well at home. And that's just stems from the way we practice and the way we prepare it all week. Go out there pregame today, I sent them in. And the reason why I sent this football team in, because I just saw it coming, and complacency. A lot of times they hear so much being pat on the back and at West Virginia win, and we can't handle that right now. This football team cannot handle winning, and today was a great example.
They've proven they just can't handle winning. They've got too many penalties. It was sloppy play all the way through the first half, and they kind of started waking up in the second half, but by that point it was too late. You just lost to Pittsburgh. I mean, and that's the thing. They're just not good enough to do that kind of thing. Charlie Strong said it best. They have to have better focus, better intensity, and he saw it in pregame warm-ups. He saw it during the week, but he said, at a certain point, there's no stopping it. There's no way for a coach. He can rant and rave and pull them in off the pregame as much as he possibly wants to, but if they're not listening, they're not listening. And really, one of the few things that they can do to get them to listen is that they lose. And after they lost against Marshall, they had a good run after that. Hopefully, they'll have a good run at the end of this season. Go ahead and win those last 2 games, get yourself to a bowl game.
One of our other Game Time storyline topics is Marcus Teague. Cal says the Cats got off to a slow start against Marist because Marcus was playing to the crowd rather than playing his position.
The last game, Marcus Teague started so good, our team started so good. This game, he was trying to make heroes plays to get oohs and ahs from the crowd, so he turned it over twice in 4 minutes, 3 minutes, and he lost his mind a little bit. And I got on him during the game. He's not been used to be coached, but I told him, hey, I've coached point guards before, and the ones that listen to me do fine. So just listen to what I'm saying to you and stop arguing with me and just do what I'm asking you to do. I got you, coach. So he's a good kid. We got good players who are good kids. Now we just got to make sure they understand the intensity and the fire they got to play with.
And I guess he just had to learn that lesson the hard way. He had 2 turnovers within the first 3 minutes, unfortunately for him. he got, they've been playing really well. A lot of attention for Kid Gilchrist, a lot of attention for Davis and Wilcher even. I guess he thought it was his turn to get some attention, so he came out playing a little selfish. And he had been warned from the very beginning. As soon as he got on campus, Deron Lamb said, Cal is going to ride you harder than anybody in here because you're the point guard. And Cal makes it clear, it's hard to be my point guard because I'm going to stay on you. And he's got to learn the hard way. And the interesting thing I always find, Calipari's talked about it every year he's been here. Do you notice he told Teague, don't argue with me? He lets his players back talk and argue and all that in the huddle. And at one point he finally says, look, I know how to coach point guards. Shut your mouth and go play. And he actually turned out started playing much better after that.
Rick Pitino said a couple of weeks ago on the show here that the most important Cardinal this year was Gorky Jang, but he still has to get Gorky well motivated, and says one of the reasons why Gorky's gotten off to a slow start is because he's not going as hard in practice as he should be going.
You know, what I told Gorky is, Gorky, to be honest with you, he's such a great kid, but he's just been giving us average practices. And tonight, like I told him, you're going to reap what you sow, and you've been very average in practice because you're going against Zach, who's a rookie and doesn't know much. You're playing to the level of your competition in practice. He's not dogging it. He's not hustling. He's hustling, but he's just giving an average performance. And really, from a statistical standpoint, he got what he deserved because he wasn't practicing great. And this was a great motivational tool for us to get him to practice much better and not to the level of competition.
I think once Stephen Van Treese is back, once Zach Price starts to pick it up, I think the level of competition will rise in practice. But it's difficult because, Louisville does not have another guy who's 6'10" and as athletic as Gorky Jang. There's just not one there. So I think Gorky's going to rise to the level of his competition during Big East play. I think he's going to in the out-of-conference play. But there's just not a whole lot of that kind of competition in practice. I think the other thing with Gorky, you can't say things like, you reap what you sow. He's just learning English. He has no idea what that means. I mean, he's picking up English really, really quickly. But you can't use those like catchphrases and things. You have to tell him, Gorky, you're not practicing hard enough, right?
You stink real slow.
He's at the horticulture school now trying to figure it out.
Hey, coming up on Tuesday, Kentucky and Kansas. It's a road game for both, but it's actually a home game for one of the Wildcats. You'll hear from him after you hear from him about CardinalSports.com.
You got it. The best place to follow the action is CardinalSports.com. We've got live game reports, all that kind of thing. Recruiting. We're getting into football recruiting season. You're going to want to know who's visiting the Cards, who Louisville's get an offer to, watch video of these prospects, all that kind of thing, and of course, all the different game, football, and basketball coverage. Check it out, CardinalSports.com.